Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your host Yensi Flamenco, and I'm here with.
I'm Sophie Wills. I'm a second semester junior accounting major at the University of Alabama with a professional accounting focus, and I plan to attend grad school at the University of Alabama for the Masters of Accountancy program.
Well, today I'm gonna be talking about college and how different it is from high school. And is there anything you learned in high school that you use in your normal daily life in college?
I definitely think like work ethic. When you come from high school, where I did a lot of sports, a lot of organizations. I was big into FBLA, and I went into college, and just everything that I did. I went into college, and it definitely helped me with my time management skills and everything. I was so involved in high school. Going into college was kind of like a breath of fresh air, where you had to really work to get involved, and I don't know, just everything that I did in high school just made me more organized when I went to college. So a lot of the new tasks that I had to do weren't really that hard.
How does high school differ from college?
Ooh, you don't realize how kind of alone you are, and not in like a depressing, like lonely way, but you really are by yourself. And so when you go to college, obviously everyone's there. Like most of the time, you're going to be in your freshman level classes, and I don't know, you just kind of get put there, and everybody's in the same situation. Like everybody's starting fresh, like everybody's away from their families for probably the first time, especially in your freshman level classes. And so just the difference is just being out on your own and having like the drive and motivation to do what you did in high school. Because high school, you've got a personal relationship with your teachers, you've got sports to lean on, you've got these really close-knit organizations, and especially for people like us who are going to like a 2A, 3A school.
Small town, yeah. Everybody knows each other.
Yeah, and like when you go to college, especially University of Alabama, Auburn, these big universities, it's hard because it's so much bigger than what you think, and you get in there, but you just kind of have to remember like everybody's in the same situation, and like talking to people, just going up and talking to people isn't weird. Like you can just talk. So I would say the biggest difference is just like the size overall, and just having the confidence and the motivation to do what you did in high school.
What's the necessity going into college?
Ooh, for me personally, my iPad. I'm an iPad kid. I don't know how everybody takes notes, but if you are a note taker, like an avid note taker, my iPad. I'm a proud iPad kid. But yeah, I would say that. Yeah. And then if you live in the dorm, a mattress pad, because or like a mattress topper, like like a little spongy. That like, goes on. Yeah. Those are. I don't care how nice your university is. The mattresses are not going to be comfortable at all. So, yeah.
What's something you wish you did differently in high school? Or is there like, are you like happy with what you did?
I mean, overall, I wish I like stressed a little less. So in high school, I did the whole I earned 2 degrees from Northeast while I was in high school, and there are definitely times where I look back and I wish I stressed a little bit less about it, because in the end, like, yes, it mattered and it got me a lot of things, but there was a lot of times in school where I was just like, that consumed me like every day. So like my biggest advice for people in high school is like, yes, work hard, and like, yes, there's going to be times where you have to stress. Like stress is just
part of it.
It's just part of life. And so like, just remember, like, it's okay. You're in high school, so like it's not as big like as it will be. Like it's, I don't know. I'd like, if I could talk to myself, I'd be like, just chill. Like chill out. It's okay.
Do you still talk to your friends from high school?
Yes and no. So relationships after high school, they are definitely like, people talk about, oh, you're not going to talk to the people in your class after high school, and they're not lying, but it's not necessarily out of rudeness or we don't like each other anymore, but it's just, you have to remember everybody gets on their own path and goes different places. So like for us, I mean, me, Fernando Padilla, Riley Tillery, Caleb Bean, there's a larger group of us from Collinsville at Tuscaloosa. C.D. Skelton, Summer Stewart, like Zeb Jones, like there's a big group of us. And so for us, we all went to high school together. We talk to each other because we have a common place still. But when you get away from each other, people start work, people get married, like they start their lives. And it's not necessarily that you don't talk to them because you don't like them or anything, but people just go their separate ways. And I definitely look forward to seeing my classmates at our class reunions and everything. But yeah, so I would say it's a mix. Like some people you still talk to, it's just harder when you don't share a common ground with people anymore. But with social media and Snapchat
Yeah,
and
'cause
everything, it makes it easier.
in high school you're taking the same classes and stuff like that. Now it's like everything's different.
Yeah, like you're seeing like the same, and for me it was like the same 50, 60 people every single day, and like you had pep rallies together and sporting events, and now you go in and like you've got like you're in like a different, completely different classes. Like I'm really close to a lot of people within my major because you just have to be, because study groups and whatnot. So you make a lot of new friends, but you don't necessarily lose friends, but you just don't talk to them as much.
Would you rather have early morning classes or afternoon classes?
If you would have talked to me at the beginning of freshman year, I would have been like, early morning classes, I want to get it done. Like, put me in the 8 a.m. No, don't lie to yourself. 8 a.m. classes, that you think you can do it because you did it in high school. Like, oh, I got to school at 7:45 in the morning. Like, I can do it at 8 a.m. No, you can't. Don't fall trap to it. Like, don't fall victim, because it's not true. Like, I struggle for my 9:30 classes. Like, I struggle. And so I wouldn't say like afternoon, but most of your upperclassmen, you're going to see they're going to have classes at like 11, like ish. And that's how mostly my day starts. So like my schedule next semester is Tuesday, Thursday. And my classes start, I think they do start at 10, and I get done at like 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would definitely say afternoon, or
Yeah.
just like late morning, but definitely not anything in the morning. Like, no.
Is it hard to find classes around campus?
Well, I would say yes and no. I don't know how every university has it organized, but how Alabama does it is you have your college. So, like, obviously there's the University of Alabama, but then it's separated into different colleges. So, like, there's the College of Arts and Science, there's the College of Engineering, there's the College of Business, and you're going to be separated. And so our buildings are kind of, like, together. So, like, my business buildings for accounting and everything, they're like all in these same 3 buildings. And so at the beginning of the year, I know a lot of them do it, we walk our schedules. So like when I go back for the spring semester, probably a day before classes, I'll drive to campus and I'll get out and I'll just find my class numbers and I'll walk my schedule.
Yeah.
Just because that's the hardest thing, is like it is with it being so big, if you don't know where you're going the first day, you could be
can get
lost.
yeah.
Yeah. And like especially the buildings and everything, one of my buildings has like 6 floors. And so you just got to be able to like navigate, because you have 15 minutes ish to get to class if you have back-to-back classes.
Yeah.
And that could be a cross-campus walk, including getting up to your room. So yeah, I would say like we just walk our schedule out a little bit before.
What's the best way to adapt being far away from home?
I would say get involved as quick as you can, and especially if you're going somewhere and you're going to be more by yourself. Like, again, I went to college and like I had a big, like, just a community already built around me. Like, I had some of my best friends that went with me as well, so it made it a little bit easier. But even with that, I still felt very like unfulfilled, and it was because in high school I was so involved with like FBLA, my class, like it, I don't know, like I wasn't doing anything separate from my friends, and so it just like we would hang out and that was fine, but like I just wasn't doing anything like for anybody else. And so this year, my sophomore year, I got involved with AK Psi, which is Alpha Kappa Psi, and it's a professional development co-ed fraternity, and that has been like the best thing to me. So like I'd say adapting is just getting involved with like-minded people, because I don't know, just having a community and people like with things to do and like outreach, it's just very important, and you just don't realize how much you need it until you get away from it. And so yeah, I would definitely say like that's the biggest thing, is just putting yourself out there, because in high school it's just small, like it's easy. You can go to Miss Stone and be like, hey Miss Stone, what do I need to do to be an FBLA, and like all this stuff. But
yeah.
like you can't really do that in college, because there's 42,000 people, 47, whatever the new number is. But yeah, those.
Can you tell us a little bit about the club you're in, like Alpha Kappa Psi?
Yeah. So Alpha Kappa Psi, like I said, it's a professional development fraternity, and again, it's a fraternity. It's like it's not a sorority, so it's co-ed. So there's guys and girls, and when I rushed, it's a lot of it is professional development. They're teaching you how to dress business professional, business casual, showing you how to do your resume, really hounding in on your interviewing skills and everything. And like our values are brotherhood, unity, integrity, knowledge, and service. And so, like, you really just go into that and learn more. And it gives me a community. And so, like, there's all these different things that we have to do. So I rushed this past semester, and then I was a pledge for most of the semester. And then towards the end of the semester, I was inducted. Like, I made it through the process, but it's a very long process of getting through everything. But definitely, if you're going to university, like, I totally suggest looking into Alpha Kappa Psi. To me, especially if you're in FBLA, like, it has a lot of the same values and a lot of the same things that we did in FBLA. But yeah, I've loved it. I got voted on. I'm now VP of marketing in Alpha Kappa Psi, so I'm on our exec board, and I love it. It's been like so much fun and just such a blessing to be a part of.
How are high school clubs different from college clubs?
Yeah.
I know you already touched on it, but like.
No, yeah. So like, again, high school clubs. Most of the time, now I will say FBLA, we really picked it up like towards my junior and senior year. Like, we had so much stuff going on all the time. Like, we planned dances, we did fundraisers, and then with the Panther shop opening up and us kind of starting that, it just made our club so much more involved and it gave us a lot more responsibilities. But when you get into college, so how Alabama works is to start a club, I think you have to have at least 8 people, and you can have a club for anything. Like, absolutely anything. So I know we did it at school, but we have a get on board day at Alabama. And so it's a day at the beginning of the semester. You walk, and all these clubs set up on the quad, and our quad is huge. And so it's hundreds of clubs. We have hundreds of clubs because you just have to, if you have 8 members, you can start one about absolutely whatever you want. And I would say it's just a lot different. There's a lot more responsibilities when you're in something bigger. So, like, Alpha Kappa Psi, it's not necessarily a club, but like, the responsibilities fall on us because there's not, yes, we're adults. Like, I'm an adult, but I'm not really an adult. Like, and there's no adult that is overseeing us. Like, we handle our finances.
Don't have a teacher like Miss Stone. Like,
no, yeah, we don't have somebody like that. Like, we handle our finances. We handle, like, all the marketing. Like, everything falls on us. And so, to me, it's just when you get into bigger stuff like that, it's a little bit more of a responsibility. But then with, like, smaller clubs, it just kind of depends. Like, participation can be a little less unless it's like, I don't know, because some people, like, they'll sign up for it and then they just never show up. Like, it's just, again, it goes back to not having that commonplace. Like, here, you're at school. So, like, you're at where the club is happening. And there, if you're having to go out of your way, like, a lot of people just won't end up doing it. So sometimes they're better in a sense because you're more involved. You can do bigger things because you have more money. You can do whatever. But then when you get into the smaller ones, sometimes they're not as involved as you would be here just because of participation and everything.
Let's see. What's something you wish you knew before college?
That it is normal to stress about things, and it is normal to have to set, like, so a lot of the times, my major, I'm having to study a lot, and that is normal. Going from high school to where I was a straight A student, and I studied, but not like I study now. Like, I just want everybody to know it is normal for there to be a shift and, like, oh my God, I don't know how to study. Because that's how I was. Because, again, I was here and, like, I did the degrees at Northeast, but still, I never really had to, like, study super hard. Like, I may study like a day or two before, but now I'm studying at least a week before for an exam, and I'm studying, like, for finals. I only had about 2 or 3 finals because most of them I could drop if I had high enough scores. So one of my finals was an accounting class, and I, for 4 days straight, would get up about 9 o'clock, and I would go to our library, and I would sit in the library and study until about 8 o'clock that night for, like, 4 days straight. I thought I was going insane, honestly. And so, like, that's normal, and obviously you need to be a little mentally prepared, but, like, I don't want people to go into it and, like, die. Like, be like, oh, I can't do it because I didn't have to study in high school. Like, even if you're somebody that gets, like, B's and C's, like, that had to study more in high school, like, you'll have to, I don't know, like, coming from somebody that came with all A's in high school and it was very easy, you will have to study. Like, no matter your skill level, like, you have to prepare more, and you have to just be super organized and be very, like, motivated and disciplined. So, yeah, I would say that. Just going back and be like, it's okay. Like, you're not in the minority of people having to study. Like, everybody has to study, and everybody has to, like, have some self-discipline and, like, do it because that's what you're there for. I mean, that's what, like, obviously it's Alabama. It's big. It's party. Like, our games are big. Like, we are known to be like a big party school or whatever. But you're down there to study. You're down there to get a degree. So you just have to remember sometimes, like, oh, like I may not can go and do this tonight or whatever, but this is what I'm here for. So
Yeah, how do you balance that, like social life and classes and stuff like that?
it's hard, especially for me personally. I've always had more of a struggle. Like, my school takes a priority over a lot of like anything social, and so like it last year was definitely worse when I wasn't involved with AKSI. But now that I'm involved in AKSI, like, we have formals, we have socials, we have philanthropy nights, and it forces me to go out and be social. And like, I have friends that go, and it gives me that common ground. But definitely, like, again, just having that community of people, like making that community early on, and also like having friends within your major that you can relate to. Because as much as like I love my friends to death, like I love my high school friends that I'm down there with, but we all differ in a way because everybody's in a different major, so everybody's struggles are different. But so having people that you can relate to in your major and talk to and be friends with is like super important for definitely like a social life balance. Because when we're in a study group or something, like, I don't feel like I'm just miserable, like I don't know these people, it's weird, whatever. So like, yeah, I would just balance and social. It's hard, but it's definitely doable. But and like, there's just times you have to remember school comes before social, but there's also times that you have to remember, like, I need to let loose, have a little fun, or I'm gonna burn myself out.
Was it hard making friends in college, or is it?
Yes and no. Like, for me, I worry, like, I'm a decently anxious person, but I just had to, like, especially my first few days in your freshman classes, you have to remind yourself, like, everybody's away from home. This is everybody's like first time away from home, and everybody's scared. A lot of people don't have a lot of community, and especially, and for us, like, it's not as big of a deal because I mean, I'm 2 hours away from Tuscaloosa, so it's a good distance. But I mean, my
Some people,
roommate
yeah.
in my dorm, she was from Washington State, which is across the country, and so, and she wasn't going to see her family again until like Christmas, and so I just had to remind myself, like, okay, you can do this. Like,
There's people in worse
but
situations.
say
Yeah.
there, you are not in the worst situation here. And just like when you talk to people, because it would be like a turn to somebody while you're sitting in class and just start talking to somebody. And most of the time, that's how I met one of my like best friends now, and she's also an accounting major. We were in orientation together, and we happened to have a class together, and we started talking. And now I'm with her all the time. And so I think just kind of swallowing your anxiety a little bit, and just like first day, talk to people, and then get involved in the clubs again. Like, find a community early on. But it's hard, but it's hard because you're in your head about it. But once you realize, like, everybody's in the same situation, like, I can do this, and then you just start talking, it's usually like not hard at all. Because again, like, everybody wants to make friends at the beginning. Like, everybody wants a people. So
How's the stadium experience over there?
the stadium experience, oh my gosh, so much fun. So freshman year at Alabama, so there we have to pay for football tickets. That's the only sport that we have to pay for. So every other sport's free. Basketball, everything, like, completely free. But because football is in such high demand at Alabama, we do have to pay. And so your freshman year, you're going to be in the nosebleeds. You're going to be in the upper bowl. You're really far away from the field, but it's still a lot of fun. When you're a lower classman, you usually get half the tickets. So like, you get a package and you'll get half the games. And last year, I forget what big game I got. I think I got Tennessee last year, and that was just so much fun. Even in the Upper Bowl, like, you've got the big screen, so like, you can still see,
Yeah.
and it's just so much fun. But this year, I shifted to being an upperclassman, and I ended up getting all of the games. Now my friends only got about half the games in the lower bowl.
Yeah.
But I got all of the games, so I was able to go to Georgia. I went to the Iron Bowl. Like, it is so much fun. Just going and getting to tailgate on the quad, and then I will say it is a very long day. Like, that is definitely not like a break weekend. Like, you're exhausted Sunday because you're just walking around a lot. You're standing for hours, and if you're tailgating at the quad before, like, you're already just out. And for me, I'm dressed in very uncomfortable shoes, and it's either really hot or really cold. Like, there's no in between. And but yeah, I would say it's just super fun. Like, some of my best memories came from football games. Like, I don't know, and like, you can't top the, like, the energy of Alabama football, getting to watch, even if we're just struggling a little bit this year, it's still like it's just still so much fun.
What were the expectations versus the reality of college life?
Ooh, I kind of went in again with completing my stuff at Northeast. I went in, I was like, ooh, all A's. I'm gonna go and have fun a lot, and like I'm not gonna have to, like, it's gonna be fine. Like the first year will be fine because I still have a few little freshman classes that I have to get out of the way, and then once I get into my major, it'll be a little bit harder. Whatever. No, it hit me like a truck very fast. It is like it's mine especially was just like super hard. I got reality checked super fast, and that okay, you're gonna have to buckle down and actually try and read your book, read your class material. Like the moment that I actually discovered that I actually had to read my textbook was a sad day, truly, because I did not want to do that. But I mean, yeah, expectation versus reality. Just like the amount of work that you have to do, and like how secluded you are, because you think going to a college with like 40 something thousand people, like you, oh my god, like you're just constantly, like you never can get alone. That's kind of what you're thinking. But honestly, you go and you can be very lonely if you don't like figure out people, like figure out a group of people to be with fast, because even though there's so many people down there, like everybody, it's not like high school where you're sitting and just talking to everybody. Like it just, you're having to, like, you have to make an effort to like talk to people and everything.
You were a 3-sport athlete in high school, obviously. How do you stay in shape in college?
So definitely, again, like getting out of shape, especially for athletes, you think in your mind, like, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to get up every morning and I'm going to work out and I'm going to do all these things and I'm going to stay in the same exact shape that I am in high school, if not better, and I'm still going to do like all these things. You're not. And that's okay. It's just because you get so busy. It's hard to balance it all. But there are ways, like for me, I eat really healthy. I do low carb. Like I do all this stuff to try and like not get that freshman like 15. And so, but also I like, along with a lot of my friends from Collinsville, we do intramural sports. So I played volleyball and soccer.
Soccer?
Yes, I played soccer. And in case you don't know this, from when I was in high school, I did not play soccer in high school. The last time I played soccer, I think I was in the 3rd grade, and I had a little neon green jersey, and it was at Gressler Park over there. But it was with my fraternity, and they were like, again, it's co-ed, so when you come to co-ed intramural sports, you have to have a ratio of like so many girls on the field, so many guys on the field. And they're like, we need another girl. And I was like, sure. I was like, fair warning, never played before. And I actually did pretty good.
Decent.
I will say. I played what is it, center back on defense?
Center back, yeah.
Yeah, and so I did decent. I mean,
Sounds
I'll like pat myself on the back a little bit for that. And then we played volleyball. We have a team with, again, like Kayla Bean, Riley Tillery, and then some other girls that we met down there. We made it to like the semifinals of our thing. So intramural sports are just so much fun. And then when we go back, I'll be playing basketball. And so getting involved with those is just fun, like finding a team and everything. And like it's less stressful than high school. Like, to me, I have a little bit more like just free fun when I'm playing those, because there's really no expectation. Like you're going in and everybody's decently competitive, but like
there's no like, you have to compete.
No, like we're not winning. I mean, we get to, you know what we win? A T-shirt. And like, I mean, yes,
Fernando was wearing his T-shirt.
Yes,
yesterday.
like that Fernando in the like the other part, he's wearing the intramural champions T-shirt, and I just want you to know he did not win anything. Don't let him fool you. But yeah, like we're still very competitive for that T-shirt. Like I'll throw down for a T-shirt, but that's really all you're winning, and you're literally just doing it for fun. To where in high school, like especially here, you're playing a lot of these sports because you have to. Like if you're decently athletic, like you're gonna play as many sports as you can, or just whatever. And there, that is all by choice. Like you're not playing anything you don't want to. You're just doing it for fun. So.
Is there any extracurricular activities on campus?
I would go with like back to the clubs and everything. Like there's always stuff like that, and especially at Alabama, there's always stuff like up around campus. So like when you walk around, there's gonna be a business like coming by, and like they're set up giving out stuff, or a lot of the times they'll do like an apartment like thing, like all these apartment complexes, because after your freshman year you have to live off campus. Well, you don't have to, but there's some places you can get in still, but most of the time people live off campus, and so there's stuff like that around campus that you can see. And so I'd say extracurriculars like the clubs, and then intramurals my favorite, and then Greek life and everything. The one that I'm involved in is not as big, like in size, compared to like, I mean, a lot of you have seen Bama Rush and just all of those things. Like, it's nothing compared to those in size. But yeah, like there's plenty to do. Again, you just have to have the motivation to go find it and do it.
What's your favorite restaurant, like on campus, on the strip, or on the anything?
That's good. Okay, Cane's.
I have mine.
Cane's is great. I mean, some people may say it overrated, but like genuinely, I love Cane's. It's the one of two in Alabama, so there's only 2 Cane's locations. There's the one on our campus, and then there's one like in Mobile somewhere. But it's great. I love Cane's. And then also on the strip, I would say the Standard. It's a pizza place.
That's what Fernando said. Yes. I haven't went.
The Standard's great. Very greasy pizza, but it's so good. And you can use dining dollars there, and you can use dining dollars at Cane's, and that just means it's not free, but it's not coming out of my bank account, so it's kind of free.
Yeah. Advice for seniors? Oh, yeah, you have any advice for the seniors?
Yeah, just if you're planning on going to a big university like Jacksonville, Auburn, Alabama, or anywhere, maybe out of state, just like a big place, just go down there and try, like I said earlier, just try your best and remember that everybody's in the same situation as you. Like, everybody wants to make friends, and just swallow your anxiety a little bit and just try and put yourself out there as much as you can, because it's not as easy as high school because it's such a big place. There's so many people there, and and then just expect to have to study more. Now, you may be an absolute genius and you may not have to study, but I can guarantee you, coming from somebody that had all A's in high school, that you will have to study. And so that's normal. Like, don't think that you're less than or like not as good of a student anymore because you have to study more. Yeah. But yeah, overall, just find your community fast, because that'll make or break you. Because like I said earlier, my roommate that was from Washington State, she was there and we had not started classes yet. So we that year got to campus about a week before classes started because we had to move in. And she dropped out before classes started because she just felt so lonely and like didn't find a community fast enough. And she was from across the country, so it was a little bit different. But like, she had rushed and didn't really get what she wanted, and she left and she went back home, which I think she's doing fine now. But yeah, like that, it just goes to show, like, especially if you're going like far away, like it can get lonely very fast, and then you're like, oh, did I make the wrong decision? Should I go home? So yeah, like, make friends and just study hard.
Well, thank you for coming down here.
Of course.
That is it, guys. Remember, like and subscribe.
Comment down below.
That's it.